Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 2 of the Bleacher Bums podcast. I am your co-host, Cole Taggart. Episode 2 is going to entail an interview that I did a while back with two very talented football players out of Stonebridge High School, wide receiver Tai Felton and quarterback Billy Wiles. For those of you that don't know, Tai has actually enrolled early to University of Maryland, where he will begin his career as a Terrapin. So super excited for him to watch his journey and see him grow as a collegiate athlete. And Billy has decided to come back and finish his senior season, and he's going ring chasing. Go get it. And he's actually going to be a preferred walk-on at Clemson. Again, really enjoyed getting to sit down with these guys. Had a blast. Got to know what makes these guys tick. Had some pretty funny moments. Had the performance coach out here, Drew Stevens. Shout out Drew. And really hope you guys enjoy the interview as much as I did. In the meantime, if you guys could go like, follow, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also going to be on Spotify and iTunes. And then if you guys could throw us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at Bleacher Bums Pod. All the support means the world. And that's pretty much it. Enjoy. Rolling now.
Cameras rolling.
Cool. What's the stuff Peyton would say?
Audio's recording.
He'd say some Peyton Manning. He'd say some random stuff.
Oh yeah.
Just to throw people off.
Yeah.
I was watching the there was a special on the hard count on ESPN, and of course Aaron Rodgers is the best at that. Yeah. And I remember when Gruden made Jared Goff get up and do his hard count, and it's just funny. It's just funny stuff.
I heard a lot of stuff about how Jared Goff wasn't the starter his rookie year because he couldn't memorize the playbook, and in his combine interview he didn't know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west or whatever. So there's a bunch of funny stuff.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure McVay's still in his ear at all times.
Yeah,
you'll just see him sitting over the line, and McVay's just talking to him, and he's like, "Okay, now I have the play." So, all right, you guys ready?
Yeah,
let's do it. Cool. Well, thank you guys for coming along. We got Tai Felton here, Stonebridge wide receiver, headed to the University of Maryland. And we have Billy Wiles, quarterback at Stonebridge, headed to Clemson. And then we have their sports performance coach, Drew Stevens, tagging along here. Thank you guys for coming by. Really excited. Again, this is my first time doing this. But again, a pleasure to have you guys here. And let's get this thing rolling. So just wanted to throw some statistics out there. I have yours. I wasn't able to grab yours. Billy threw for nearly 2,500 yards and 22 touchdown passes last season. And a 62% completion rate. Pretty solid. As I was watching your film, I think I saw you get about 3 or 4 TDs there before your knee injury.
Yes, sir.
Cool. That's awesome, man.
Appreciate it.
So, boys, you guys, committed here. How recently did you commit?
I committed after my injury, so it was 2019 November around Thanksgiving.
So you've been sitting on that for a while now, and then Billy recently.
So I was committed to Tulane. I committed there in April, and then I decommitted in early December.
Okay.
And then I ended up recommitting to Clemson on December 24th, Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. How does it feel? How does it feel to start that next chapter in your career?
It's exciting and nervous because going to college, I'm going to be out of my comfort zone. So it's just a whole new experience. But it's exciting at the same time. Knowing I'm going to be playing on TV, playing college ball, playing against big teams at Ohio State, Michigan. So it's really fun.
Yeah, Power 5 schools.
Yeah.
How about you, Billy?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Like he said, it's nerve-wracking because I'm gonna be far from home. But I'm really excited. I feel like it's a real good family atmosphere there, so I'm excited to get down.
How does your family feel about that, being far from home?
They're actually excited. Both my sisters were really wanting me to go to Clemson.
Right.
And my family's okay with it.
Are you the youngest, oldest, middle?
I'm the oldest. I have 2 younger sisters.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool, man. Nice. Well, so I just wanted to kick this off. Probably a question you guys have gotten a lot. Clearly the last year has been challenging for everybody, particularly high school athletes not being able to go out, put on the pads, and really, either get some film out there or go try win state championship. What has it been like for you guys, and what have you guys been doing to stay in shape and elevate your game? And whoever wants to start off first can go ahead.
I'll go. Stay in shape, really. I've just been working out with Drew. Train 3 or 4 times a week. And then, just on the note of not being able to play, it's been tough. It's weird. I haven't been hit since December of last year, so over a year. So it's weird, but
It's probably gonna
hopefully-
feel good to get hit again.
Yeah,
right?
a little less than a month. Hopefully, we get back into it.
Yeah, there you
so.
go. How about you, Ty?
Well, for me, it's been crazy because I got the knee injury.
Right.
I sat out my whole sophomore year, and while everybody else is playing, I'm like, dang, I can't play. So after that, I was with Drew. Like, started in the spring, I got to know Drew, and then I've been going out with Billy just throwing, trying to get my routes right. And it makes you have to make decisions I didn't want to make because I won't be playing my senior year. I'm actually going to go to college early, so
Yep.
I had to make tough decisions because of Corona, but it is what it is.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm glad to see you guys have both been able to make a solid shift. And I guess on that point, obviously you had the knee injury, so that kind of cut your, was it 2018 season or 2019 season short?
2019.
19 season short, and then obviously, with everything going on, you weren't able to suit up for that next year. Like, how hungry are you right now to get back on that football field?
I've been like that injury really humbled me because before like my sophomore year I like balled out and I got big headed. I got like a bunch of offers and stuff like this. So
Yeah.
next year I'm thinking, oh, Alabama, Clemson, they'll be hitting my
Yeah,
phone
yeah.
after this season. And fourth game I got hurt. I'm like, dang. I sat back and I got to realize like football is really like I got to see how much I appreciate the game. So it really got me like I got to sit back and get humbled and really got to learn.
Yeah, I was going to say, from a perspective standpoint, as someone that kind of had to be on the sidelines for those games, like what is it like being a teammate, who can't necessarily participate in those games, but just trying to be there, for your team and the other receivers and just being in the room and trying to, make sure they're on top of their game since you can't necessarily be on the field with them.
For the younger guys especially, it made me become a better leader because I got to come in, I got to tell them what to do on this route, help them with plays, and I got to watch film with those guys. So and then they come to me for help because I was somebody they looked up to. So it really got to help me become a better leader, more vocal, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah, we got Drew Stevens here again, their sports performance coach. I wanted to introduce him just because he's played a huge role, obviously, in your guys' development over the last couple of years. So I wanted to have Drew explain the process and kind of what you guys have been doing in the training room, your specialties, what's helped these guys improve.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll start with Billy.
No problem.
I'll start with Billy briefly because we started together first. I think it's probably pertinent to start with how we met, which is a great story.
Tell it.
The end of the last football season finished, which was mid-December, and then both of us had a trip to make to Denver, Colorado, early January. You had a wedding.
It's my
and then,
town, baby.
Yeah, he was living there at the time. I stayed with him
Oh, really?
at his
Yeah,
house.
I had to move back, unfortunately, but, I'm here. I'm okay with it. So it's
Starting
honestly
in there.
my favorite city. So, but go ahead. Continue.
And so I was doing some school stuff, type of learning things out there. Went to take a lab test, and on my flight home, I saw a group of people in the gate, and it was a big family, a bunch of teenagers. I'm like, who are these people? Because I saw a Stonebridge jacket, and then I sit down. I picked a random seat because I got the ticket through Miles, so I just picked this seat, like row 30 something in the window. Turns out I'm sitting next to his aunt. We have a great conversation from the wheels up to wheels down, and he was sitting in the row
3 hours.
in front of me,
Yeah.
and a little bit over the entire time. And so little did I know I was sitting surrounded by his family, and then through the help of another one of my clients, and then a couple conversations with his mom, we got going pretty much like the first week of January. And it was great to meet Billy. You could tell right away he was like trying to figure out details, really learn the details so he could master those, because I feel like he understood like the basics is what gets you far. And so we had a great start. And then as we progressed, he built a relationship with one of my other clients, another quarterback, Mitch. And I would say they're pretty good friends now, and they've really enjoyed working out together.
Mitch Griffiths over at Wake Forest.
Yep. He rival quarterback, rival team, rival opponents with each other in high school, and now
That's cool.
Now kind of friends. So that's a pretty good transition. And so they got to push each other a lot. And then since Mitch was a year older, he's got a year older in the weight room, and so Billy kind of really took some mental notes there and absorbed a lot just working out in our group, and we expanded that group. And so trying to get Mitch ready for his first freshman college season, we were working out, we were lifting / running 4 days a week. And then we'd condition on top of that in some off days. So it was pretty much a 6-day-a-week protocol. And so Billy was ready for the fall season. I was really nervous about how much I was putting on him and then how much I had to take off so we can continue this extra off season. It's pretty frustrating because you're itching to play, and we were just doing nothing but training. You can't like fix up the car in the shop for a year. You know, you gotta take it on the track. And then so transitioning into Tai, when things became a little more restricted and locked down kind of in the spring, I know my thought was like PT offices were closing and like what's Ty's rehab schedule going to be like. And so I told Billy, like, look, reach out to him. I'm down to give him my time like once a week and just get to know him and see like where I can help. And we started off real basic. You would even pick Ty up and drive him every single time to meet with me and just hang out. And we talk our first few sessions, well, pretty much once a week. Every time we met, we were doing muscle activation techniques on the table. I'd analyze a lot of your range of motion, and we did a lot of treatment. And then we'd get up and do some running mechanics, but really slow paces. And it's funny just how slow. I'm sure you weren't used to training that slow, right? That remedial. And but I feel like it made an awesome difference for you when you finally got back to sprinting. Honestly, for like 8 or 10 weeks, 1 week, each week in a row, we were doing MAT. And it got to a point where like these little things turned into big things where probably before your injury, you could maybe get your hand past your knee, you're like mid-shin, touch your toes.
Yeah, I couldn't even touch my toes till my senior year getting with Drew. And there was a lot of games in high school. Like I would come in, it's like 60, 70%. I wasn't stretched. I was timeless. Like, I'm about to go play.
Yeah.
And then going with Drew, I just got loose. I'm like, I can touch my toes. This
Right.
is crazy.
I've honestly never been able to touch my toes, so I probably should work on that.
And then through there, we just added some days per week, and we added our intensity, and I made sure I was like dosing Ty properly, and now he's ready to go. He's had a nice path to his clearance, and he's fortunately at least gotten to ball out a little bit with some 7-on-7 tournaments, get his flips in, get his catches in, and so now we're here.
I've seen him. No, yeah, because I saw the last 7-on-7. You were throwing to him, right? You guys were there together. And you were just bullying people, man. Would you say you're more of a physical receiver or a finesse receiver, or both?
I'm finesse. Like if you throw it my way, I'm gonna catch it, and then I talk trash too. So
all right,
if you're a DB and you're talking to me, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean the wide receivers and DBs definitely they have to talk the most trash on the field, right?
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I mean, obviously you've been working with these guys for a little bit. Like, what would you say your favorite part has been, or where they've improved the most? Just in these small little increments that has made their game that much better. It's
funny. We don't I guess do anything fancy or special. And I just love how fundamental both of them have become and how they've emphasized their fundamentals now in the game, how they appreciate a lot of these little things. And I mean, my favorite part is just frankly the relationships I've built with them. And like, I want to see them ball out and succeed. I wanted to see Ty play some senior year football, but I'm also like so excited for him to head off to Maryland and get his opportunities there and then start making a name. Sure. And then I've watched Billy's path go left and right and up and down, but he's just ready to go. You know?
That's awesome. Yep. That's awesome. So obviously success is a team effort. You know, who do you guys feel has inspired you along the way, whether that's a family member, another guy on your team, maybe an idol that you have that's an NFL player. It could be anybody. Who would you say that is? Billy, go ahead.
I'll go first, and I think I'm speaking for both of us when we say our coach, Mickey Thompson. He's an awesome coach. I've never had another like him. So he's been huge in my development and just like instilling confidence in me and just like reminding me that I can do it. And I think he's the best around. Yeah. And it shows.
Resume speaks for itself.
Yeah.
What is it? 9 state championship appearances in 14 years, I think it was. Something crazy like that.
Exactly.
How about you, Ty?
So mine's definitely Coach Thompson, but another one I like to say is my mom. Because my mom, she's been through a lot of adversity in her life, and we're kind of like, as a family, we go through stuff. So her determination, her drive, and her life really pushed me to want to do better and want to be great.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, on to Mickey, because I know we were talking about that. What's it like playing for him? Obviously, a guy that has a lot of experience, the resume. Yeah. He's won. He's a winner. Kind of has dominated the area, the region for a long time. What's it like?
It's fun. he's not as hard nosed as some people would think. Looking in from the outside, I could definitely see how people think that, but he builds really good relationships with all his players, which I think is a big benefit to playing at Stonebridge. You're not just a part of a team; you're a part of a family.
Right.
So I think being in that family, you trust him and he trusts you, and that kind of makes Stonebridge great.
He's a true definition of a player's coach.
Yep.
If he picks up kids that are not doing so good, he'll go out his way and make sure you're good. He'll take you inside his house. He'll go out to dinner with you. So he's a true player's coach.
That's nice. So you guys, you guys are probably super close with his family and stuff like that. That's cool.
And he's the best player in the history of state of Virginia, right?
That's what he says.
Wait, is it? Oh, he says that.
He says that.
What do you guys think? Huh? Does he have any film you can go back and look at, or?
He's too old.
He's way too old.
What position did he play?
He played O-line and D-line. I think.
O-line,
So,
D-line.
okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So yeah, I kind of want to ask you guys. Obviously, you're going to Maryland. You're going to Clemson. Might be a dumb question, like why Clemson, why Maryland? Obviously, Clemson has the notoriety over the last however many years you guys have been in it, winning or just right there.
Yeah.
And then Maryland, I feel like is a kind of a program that's kind of on the way up. You know, I don't know how long ago they joined the Big Ten, a few years ago, but obviously the competition, the teams that they're playing against has gotten a lot better.
Yep.
I think you got Tagovailoa over there
Yeah,
right now throwing the ball. Why Maryland?
So after I got hurt, I had about around 10 to 12 offers, and a lot of those schools had backed off because my injury, they didn't know how far I was going to come back. And then Coach Joker and Coach Locks. Coach Joker's a receiver coach, and Coach Locks, he was an OC at Alabama when they won a national championship, and then he took the job at Maryland. Mm-hmm. So they were really loyal to me. They were talking to me every day. They were checking up on my injury and stuff like that, and how close it was to home. It's only an hour away, so the homesick thing will be there, but won't be there as much as if I went to Nebraska or Virginia Tech or something like that. So the loyalty, and it's on the come up right now. Mm-hmm. We have 20 recruiting class right now, top 20.
That's solid.
Yep. So we have some 5-star guys in there, so I feel like it's on the come up too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's solid, especially a team in the ACC, because usually the SEC or a team like Clemson will dominate those power rankings, and the recruiting classes to be in the top 25 is pretty solid. Why Clemson, Billy?
The biggest thing was kind of the family atmosphere, right? They were reaching out to all members of my family, making sure that we felt like we were getting recruited as a family. Mm-hmm. And just the relationships I ended up building with Coach Streeter, the quarterback's coach, and Coach Sweeney. We developed a pretty good relationship over a couple phone calls. He's a really nice dude. And also, so I'm going as a preferred walk-on. Mm-hmm. And so Coach Sweeney was a preferred walk-on at Alabama that earned a scholarship. And the offensive coordinator, Coach Elliott, was a preferred walk-on that earned a scholarship at Clemson. So there's a lot of opportunities there. And I think that even if I'm going to have to wait a few years to get on the field, but I'm gonna bust my ass and I'm gonna work hard to try to get on the field. And I think just developing those relationships with all those guys and just building as a man.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a huge trait to have, to be able to understand that, and you're not gonna be able to play right away. You're gonna have to learn to develop. You're gonna have to support your teammates, and then when the time is right, if you get the opportunity, you're gonna be ready to go. I went to, I don't know if Drew told you, I went to the University of South Carolina, so it's funny that one of the first guys I'm interviewing is someone that went to Clemson. It's okay. My buddies will give me crap. I'm not too worried about it. But, it's going to be hard. I'll be rooting for you for sure, maybe in a little bit in silence. But it is what it is. So I wanted to move on. Obviously, you guys, I know, again, your high school career isn't as long as you would like, but I'm sure you had some unbelievable moments in there. What would you say your biggest moment was in your high school career?
I would say my sophomore year, we had lost the broad run the first time, and it was kind of it was surprising because we don't usually lose the broad run. Sorry, Jay.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I've been to some crazy games, and we can get to that at some point.
And then in the regional championship game, came out whooping on them. I scored a touchdown first. I think second drive of the game, scored a go around, and the game ended up to be 35-6. So that was a really big moment in my career.
That's an ass kicking for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. What about you, Billy?
So mine was probably my sophomore year. I wasn't the starter.
Okay.
But we had an injury. One of our running backs was out. So Coach Thompson told me before the game, hey, look, if one of our other running backs goes down, you're going to go in at quarterback, and we're going to move Mason to running back. This was the state semis my sophomore year. Yeah, it was super rainy. We didn't throw a lot, but I think it was just big for my development, just having to prepare like that, even though I don't know if I'm going to go in the game or not.
Yeah.
But I think that was just a shining moment in my high school career because it really led me to believe that my coaches believed in me, and So that was huge for me.
Yeah, next man up.
Yep.
Next man up mentality for sure. So, what would you say your greatest win was? And it could be separate for the both of you. It could also be
yours
together.
is gonna be different than mine.
Yeah.
You got it. Oh. I would say probably that regional championship against Broad Run.
Yeah.
That really stapled like how good we were. Like we can make adjustments and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, definitely that's that regional championship win.
Yeah. How about you, Billy?
Mine would probably, this isn't a big name team in the county, but mine would probably be Riverside last year, just because I was supposed to go to Riverside out of middle school. So a bunch of my friends are on that team, and they were talking a bunch. So I just wanted to make sure that we gave it to them, and I got knocked around that game a little bit, but it was a fun game to play in, and we put it on them.
There you go. That's
yep.
all that matters. That was probably a good feeling.
It was for sure.
Yeah. You had the bragging rights for a while there.
I did, and
Yeah.
I'll keep them. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, okay, and then I guess on the flip side of that, what was the toughest loss that you've ever had to go through in high school?
Yeah, I'll go first. It was definitely the state championship last year. We were the better team. There was no doubt about it. Everyone knew it. We came out slow, and they went up 28-0 by the beginning of the second quarter. We ended up coming back 28-21, and we had all the momentum, and they got the ball with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter and kept it the whole time. We didn't get the ball once. So
No way.
Yeah, that was our game to win. And we didn't, but that was definitely the toughest loss.
That would have driven me crazy because you
Yep.
have no control, especially as offensive players. You're just
Yep.
kind of sitting on the sideline, like I got to get in there, like I want to go play, like can I go
Yeah,
play
exactly.
linebacker,
Yeah.
like can I go get in there, like make a hit?
Yeah, we had one roughing the punter play, and
So that would have been your chance to get the ball
Yep,
back.
and it was
like
Yeah.
5 minutes left.
and it was a bad punt. Like we had it in their territory. It went out of bounds.
That's brutal.
Yep.
And then later that drive, they had a good play where the quarterback was in shotgun the whole game.
4th and 1.
It was 4th and 1, and he sprinted up to the line of scrimmage and just gave a hard count like he was going to QB sneak, and one of our players jumped, and that gave him the ball again. So they just kept driving, super slow, super methodical, and they did a good job with it, but
Yeah.
it was tough.
Right. Would you say that same thing there?
I
Or
wasn't
different?
playing that game.
Okay.
But like mine would be probably sophomore year state championship against Highland Springs. We're playing against like a really good team. They won 3 state championships in a row by that time. And we had like so many small mistakes. It was crazy. We had a kickoff return called back. We had safety, right?
Yeah.
So the game ended up to be 37-27, but there were so many moments in the game where like, dang, we were really in it, and then we lost. So that was a really tough loss for all of us.
What would you guys say you learned the most from those losses?
Really that every little thing matters, right? Something in the first quarter on the first drive could affect the rest of the game. So you just have to make sure you're on it from the first snap.
Right.
So and then just preparation. We don't play teams like that until the state championship. Not up here. Their speed and talent is just different than anything else.
Talking
up
about
here.
like the 7-5-7.
Right,
like
7-5-7,
Well, that's
8-4.
yeah, because those are the teams you guys. I remember when I was in high school, and even before then, it was Phoebus
Yeah.
that would pretty much run it.
Yeah.
And you guys meet them there every year, and they're good. They're
Yep.
very, very, very good, and it just is what it is. But I mean, you guys, I'd still consider you guys a powerhouse, regardless.
For sure.
But yeah, those guys can definitely play. I think Michael Vicks from down there, like Allen Iverson, like some of the best athletes,
Yep.
like they produce for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I already asked that. I said, what would you say your greatest strengths are? As a quarterback or as a wide receiver. What would
I'll
you
go
say those
first.
are?
I think my biggest one is just being a leader. I'm very vocal on the field, and I take pride in that. And I think my teammates would say that about me too. And then other than that, just the physical traits, I see the field really well. I feel like, and I can make all the throws from sideline to sideline. That's one of my biggest strengths. But I think leadership's the biggest one for me, and I take pride in that.
Were you captain of the team junior and senior year?
I was captain junior year. We haven't voted yet,
Oh,
but
that's
I would
right.
I would have to imagine.
Okay,
I'll be
technically, yeah,
captain.
that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. How about you, Ty?
My physical traits would probably be catching. I don't drop a lot of passes. Like if 9 out of 10
Sticky
times,
hands?
9 out of 10 times I'm catching it.
There you
It can
go.
be over 2 people, 1 person, doesn't matter. If you throw it my way, I'm gonna catch it. And
All right.
my speed, I feel like I can outrun the DB. I can outrun linebacker, stuff like that on the screen pass or anything like that.
What's your most recent 40?
It was a 4.5, right? Yeah, 4.5.
Yeah.
At the
Moving.
end. Yep.
And it's
Moving.
faster than that.
Yeah,
if
What
we're
was,
honest.
but what was that drill you said you were running the other day? And
We did
he
3
put
cone
up
and then
that
pro
3-cone
agility.
Time. Yeah,
Yeah.
told me that's pretty good.
Yep. And then another one would probably be I'm not scared of pressure. Like if it's a game and comes down to it, you want to throw me the ball, throw me the ball. Because some people they get folded under pressure. If I want the ball, Like, give me the ball and I'm gonna make the play. I'm gonna make it happen.
Tell you what, if I was a quarterback, I'd probably want to throw it too.
For sure.
I mean, you need a receiver who knows they're good enough, and no matter who the DB
Confidence.
or who's guarding them, like it's my ball.
Exactly.
It's
No
my
matter
football.
who it is. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's cool, man. So I guess on the flip side of that, like in terms of like you guys are always looking to improve.
Yep.
I guess weak parts of your game that you think you can definitely strive to be better at over the next few years. What do you think? What do you think those are?
I would say mine is because going to college and then hopefully going to NFL, you got to be able to read defenses as a receiver. So I think I'm improving on that. That's something I need to work on. So I think once I'm able to read defenses, knowing what they're going to run for, they run it. I think that's when my game will really take off.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Billy?
For me, I would say the biggest thing is preparation. Last year, I didn't really get into all the film and notes and all that until later in the season. And that point, it was a little too late. And this year, I've been really working on just watching film. I mean, our first game is a month out, but I've been watching as much as I can, and just trying to prepare. Like I'm watching every single individual player, seeing what their tendencies are, and just trying to figure out where their weaknesses are. So I think that's a thing that I can really improve on, and I'm getting better at.
Yeah. You watching any Clemson film right now?
I've watched a bunch. Yeah, I usually watch. I go through their games after, and I like to see what plays they run on offense and stuff like that. And I'll ask the coach what they're doing here and stuff like that.
Do you know how to say the Clemson quarterback's last name?
Yeah, Uyunglele.
Uyunglele. Wait, say that again.
Uyunglele.
Uyunglele. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. I mean, that's tough. That's a valid.
It is.
Yeah, make sure you don't get that one wrong when you walk
I'll
into
just
the
call him
quarterback
DJ.
room.
Yeah.
Just DJ?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you already have a pretty good relationship with those guys?
I do not, because we aren't able to visit with the team because of COVID and all
Right.
that going on. So if we were, I probably would be able to talk to him a little bit more, but I don't have much of a relationship with him right now.
And it's kind of like the same deal over at Maryland as well.
Well, since I'm going early and a lot of the kids are like from this area, I know a lot of them, so I have pretty good relationships with most of the players on the team.
Who other players from the area are out there?
Brian Cobbs, he went to Hayfield. There's a bunch of Maryland guys who went to like Wiles and QO. And I know a lot of kids come in the recruiting class too.
So they recruit pretty well at Virginia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's like they're kind of building up, but Maryland is pretty much on lockdown.
Yeah.
Right now it is. So
Is it really? Okay.
yeah.
I've been to College Park. How many times have you visited there?
Before they shut everything down, probably 7-8 times.
It's a cool place, man.
Yeah.
It's cool. I was lucky enough to play when I was somewhat of an athlete and I was playing baseball. I got to play in their field.
Yeah.
They have really nice facilities.
Yeah.
So, you guys are taking a huge next step in your career. Whether that's 4 years, 3 years, however long that lasts. Like, how do you guys envision that? Like, where do you see yourself over the next 4 years? Your growth as a college football player.
I'll go first. I mean, I think the goal for anyone going to play Division I football is the NFL, right?
Right.
So that's really what I'm working towards, and I think Clemson's the best spot for me to get that done. Yeah. Just need to work hard and get on the field as soon as I can. But that's my goal, and then if that doesn't work out, I think I want to get into coaching, which is also another big reason that I ended up going to Clemson, because the connections I'll have there after my football career is over are
Absolutely.
big time.
Have there been a lot of players that have come out of Clemson that didn't necessarily go to the NFL that are now coaching?
Yeah, so on
the program,
on the staff, the offensive coordinator played at Clemson, the quarterbacks coach played at Clemson. CJ Spiller is now on the staff.
Oh, is he really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So there's a lot of people that graduated and played at Clemson that are now coaching there.
That's nice. That's probably comforting knowing that you feel like you probably most likely have an option either way as long as you put that work in while you're there. Right. How about you, Ty?
Not only becoming a better football player, just a better man. Because those coaches, that's what they preach a lot, becoming a better man. Because one day football is going to end. You got to know how to take care of your family, do your job right. So just becoming a better man in general.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll probably learn a lot of things, especially going up against grown-ass men who are a lot bigger than you. That probably going to kick your ass on the field and then
100%.
Probably bully you in the locker room a little bit. Who knows? But as long as you guys are willing to accept that, and that's awesome, man. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to talk about the coaches, right? You have Loxley, is that how you say it, over there?
Sir.
You got Dabo.
Yep.
What are you most excited for about being coached by these guys, being in the same locker room, having like one-on-one relationships with them? What's the most exciting part for you guys?
For me, it has to be development. Because when Coach locks me, he's at Bama. I mean, he had Jerry Jeudy. He had he had Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle. He coached Devontae Smith.
That's not bad, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly. He just won a Heisman.
Yeah.
He was a receiver coach there. So my thing is development. He has a lot of connections. So I think if I put in the work and do what I have to do, then I can end up being in the big leagues one day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for me, with Coach Sweeney, it's very cool because he's he's as seen on TV, right? He comes off as a super nice guy, and that's how he really is talking to him. And any player you ask that's at Clemson will say the same thing. And he's a super smart guy. All the staff there is, so I think they can really take me where I want to go.
Right.
And I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, one guy I always like seeing like Dabo and Saban because they're complete opposites, but they both find a way to get their team to bear
Where they
down and
need
be
to
ready
be,
for these
yep.
games. Because Dabo's more like, hey, let's play loose and be ready. And Saban's like, I mean, you see him in interviews, you pretty much get the vibe.
That's a character.
Yeah, But I respect. I mean, obviously he's put up the numbers, so
sure.
to be able to do that, he might have to step on the brakes every once in a while when he's talking to reporters. But
I feel like he brainwashes his players.
he might. Who knows? It works, right?
They're just on a program. I feel like it's Alabama's over here and everybody else is over there.
Yeah.
It's like one of those type of programs.
Yeah, like I guess comparable in a way to the Patriots and Bill Belichick. It's like
It's almost robotic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So I wanted to talk about just because. Obviously, there's been some insane talent that has come out of the schools you guys are going to, specifically at the positions you're playing. Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence, Stephon Diggs, DJ Moore. Like, how does it make you feel knowing that you guys are going to be putting on the same jerseys and the same colors that they were wearing? And what does that feel like to you?
I mean, it's pretty amazing. Like, just Deshaun Watson doing what he did this year on a not very good team. He had the passing title
He's
this
a
year.
baller.
So I mean, he's making plays with a team that's not very good.
Right.
So that's really cool to see. And then Trevor, obviously, he's going to be the number one pick.
Yep.
So I mean, just seeing that and knowing that could possibly be me in 4 to 5 years is really cool to see. And then even DJ, DJ will probably go to the NFL in 2 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was he the number one recruit coming out of high school too?
No, he was the number one quarterback.
Number one quarterback.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a beast. So it's gonna be cool to just be under him, and learn from him. And see where.
Yeah,
see
he's
where
definitely
he goes.
shown he can spin it in the games that he was
For sure.
able to
Yeah.
play. I mean, Stephon Diggs is having the best year of his career. DJ Moore, I feel like gets better every single year he steps on the football field. That's got to be a pretty good feeling, being able to look kind of into the future. You don't want to get obviously too ahead of yourself. But it's kind of nice knowing that, again, that could be you one day. Like,
100%.
Yeah, how does that make you feel?
And one thing about those guys, they're all local guys. I know DJ Moore's from Philly, but Stephon Diggs, he's a local guy. So it makes me know, like, I'm from the DMV, I can stay in DMV and, like, build this program. And he was a 6th-round pick, so it doesn't matter where you go if you're in the draft. If you do what you have to do, you can be a receiver his caliber.
Are those guys still pretty involved with the university, like Deshaun and Trevor and Stephon and those guys? Like, do they come back at all? Do you know?
Diggs and Moore, they have lockers, so they come
do?
back in the summer. They run routes with the team.
Oh, they
and
work
stuff
out
like
there.
that. Yeah,
that's cool.
That's
man.
cool.
So
Yeah.
you'll probably get to see him this offseason.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's
That'd
exciting.
be really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're gonna loosen it up here. We've been kind of serious with these questions. Who would you compare your game to, and why? You take your time with this.
I would say mine's kind of a mix. I like to say that I kind of play like Aaron Rodgers in a way. I don't move around as much as he does, but I feel like some of the throws that he makes are some that I really like to make, and that I've been getting better at and have been good at. And then, I mean, it's really just any pro-style quarterback in the NFL, really.
Right.
Tom Brady's my favorite quarterback of all time.
Patriots fan, right?
Yeah, he's awesome.
You'd be lying if you said anybody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's a beast, and I think I kind of model my game after him a little bit too.
So, I mean, obviously, Aaron Rodgers, it doesn't matter where his feet are, where he said he can make
crazy.
those throws. Do you feel comfortable, like, having to make some of those throws, too?
Yeah, not at his level, obviously, but hopefully
it's
I'll
gonna
get there
take
one
time.
day.
Yeah. It took him a few years, too.
For sure.
So, and then how about you?
One for me is Calvin Ridley, a guy on the come up. He's a real skinny guy, but he can run all routes from a go route to a hitch route. I feel like I'm getting better in that. I'm getting better at that. I feel like I can get my way up to that.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's another Alabama guy. So I'm assuming, did Loxley go to Maryland before Ridley was at Bama, or did he get to coach Ridley at all?
He got to coach Ridley.
He did get to coach Ridley?
Yep. So he was at Maryland. Then he went to Bama for like 4 years. So he was in the playoffs and the national
And then he
championship.
went back, right?
Went back to Maryland because he's from Maryland.
That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, Billy, if you could throw to one receiver besides Tai for the rest of your career, who would it be and why?
Kid in my grade.
What'd you say? No, anybody. It could be
anybody.
anybody.
That's a tough one. I'll just go with an NFL guy. I would say Devontae Adams.
Devontae
Yeah,
Adams.
he creates a lot of space and makes it easy on quarterbacks. So.
He's on another level this year. I think he's got 18 touchdowns, like close to 1,400 yards, and
Yeah,
he missed
2 games.
2 or 3 games.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he's going crazy. And then flip side, if you could catch passes from any QB besides Billy for the rest of your career, who would that be?
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yup, because I can run 1,000 yards. He's just gonna chuck it up.
Yeah, you've seen it with Tyreek.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
So,
a bunch of track stars out there.
Yep, and he always has his eyes on field. He can move around the pocket and scramble drill. So
You think you'd be ready for one of those no-look passes?
nah, that's a hard one because he's not even looking at you.
I
It's
know.
kind of like oh, it's coming. But like, yeah, I feel like if I prepare for it and like practice it, then yeah, I'll be ready for it.
I was gonna say, like, if I was like, he'd have to tell me in the huddle, like, hey, I'm
Exactly.
throwing. And but if someone's telling you that in the huddle, that's kind of crazy to think like he's really planning to throw a no-look pass like
Yeah.
before it even happens.
Yeah, I wonder if
Um,
he, like, before that play, if he was thinking, I'm going to throw this no look.
Because we saw Stafford do it like last
Stafford's
week too,
was-
and he put it in a window that
Yeah.
was like this. Tiny.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
Stafford's was insane.
You'd think if you'd bench somebody pretty quickly if that didn't work out
Right,
the way it
right,
did,
yeah.
but it does. So they look genius.
Yeah.
Do you think
It's
you think
ridiculous.
you could pull that one off?
I've done a few
You've been
no look
practicing?
passes, like not against a defense obviously, but
Yeah.
I can hit targets no look, but I don't know. In a game that would definitely be tough.
I mean, I
Movement,
definitely
that's
think it's like going to start probably becoming part of the game. More guys
It
are going to
seems
learn
like
it.
it
and,
is.
I mean,
Yeah.
just the DBs are getting better and better. The linebackers, watching eyes, like you got to find ways to get them off. So, what is Tai like in the locker room? Is he a hype guy or is he a quiet guy?
I think he's a little bit of a mix of both.
Yeah.
He's quiet sometimes, but I mean he can get going. And he'll motivate guys and he'll get on people, which is a good
Do
thing.
you guys like play some pranks in the locker room?
Not us.
No.
Other people,
Other people?
but not us.
We can't
yeah.
talk about what happens.
Oh,
in
okay.
there.
No, hey, we don't have to.
We
We
see
don't
some
have to.
crazy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been in locker rooms, and just like there's some stories we probably can't tell you.
Yep.
And then again, on the flip side, what's Billy like in the locker room?
Billy, he's a motivator. He's a real serious guy. Like I try to joke around with him sometimes. He's like, "Bro, come on now." But he's a real serious guy. He motivates everybody in the locker room. Everybody kind of looks up to him in a way too.
That's so fun. Have you guys seen the Friday Night Lights movie?
Yep.
Like Mike Winchell,
Yeah.
where Booby Miles is trying to make him smile. The
He's
whole
like
time?
Mike
Oh, yeah,
Winchell.
yeah.
He's so serious.
He's just right here.
Yeah.
Hey, if it gets the job done,
That's
that's
done. Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. All right, who benches more?
Sorry.
Ty? How much
on,
more?
No doubt. I don't know.
Probably like 100 pounds more.
How much you bench?
Oh,
290.
290. What about
Yeah.
you? You're in the 200 club, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're definitely in the
I
200
think
club.
you
Nah.
think you're 100 more than me?
I mean, you don't bench.
I don't bench. You're right, but like you're not 100 pounds.
Maybe Billy.
I don't think so.
We might have to go settle this over at Peg.
Maybe.
Honestly,
You might have to.
Maybe 225. I'll give it to him. Maybe
Yeah.
225.
2 plates.
Yeah,
All
got
right.
maybe a little higher than that. I think.
All right, all right.
That-
I'll give it to you.
Who had the higher SAT score?
Did you take that? SAT?
I didn't even have to take it.
Oh, man.
I have to take it. But his would have been higher than mine.
Did you have to take the ACT?
No,
you
I
didn't
didn't.
take any tests.
No, because
So
of
our class, because of
coronavirus.
COVID, like
Really?
doesn't really necessarily need the SAT or anything.
Wow.
Like that.
Okay, so say you're not a college athlete, you're strictly going to schools based off of your GPA alone now.
Well, yeah. So I mean, if you're just a student, yes, you can. You don't. It's not required to have an SAT, but it'll help.
Right.
So,
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy, man. The SAT was awful.
I believe it.
Lucky you, bro.
Right.
All right. Celebrity crush.
Mine's a new one, Margot Robbie.
Well, who was the old one?
Oh, I don't know. Kate Upton, something like
Kate
that.
Upton, okay.
But Margot Robbie for sure.
All right. What's your favorite movie with Margot Robbie?
Wolf of Wall
Wolf of
Street.
Wall Street. I think that's everybody's answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you, Ty?
Ash Cash, Instagram model.
Actually, okay.
Ash Cash.
All right, I'll have to look her up
Yep.
after we get out of
Hey,
here.
look her up. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro.
All right. Pre-game meal, pre-game ritual. Do you guys have are you like superstitious at all? You have a go-to?
I'm not necessarily superstitious. Pre-game meal is always Chipotle for me. Or at least I try
What's
to
your
make
order?
it. It's very simple.
All right.
Drew does not approve. It's
Hit us.
it's double steak, cheese, and rice.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
That's
so
it.
plain.
But and then ritual. I mean, I always pray before a game.
Okay.
But I'm not one of the dudes who does it on the field. I like to do it kind of in my own space.
I got you.
So and then other than that, I warm up, get to throwing, and then
Nice.
start playing.
How about you, Ty?
So I wear the same underwear game day. I can't switch it up. The same underwear game
You're
day.
washing them though, right?
Yeah, I'm washing them
Okay.
100%. I don't wear them until the Friday night. And then each year I'll switch it up. And then my pregame snack is Welch fruit snacks. I'm a huge sweet person. I like candy a lot. I like eating
Okay.
fruit snacks. Then I'll pray in the locker room. Then I'll play right before kickoff.
Okay, so you got a pretty good routine. So I'd call that slightly superstitious.
Yeah.
Notice how there was no stretching in that.
No stretching.
Oh, now I stretch.
now you stretch?
Now I
Okay.
stretch,
Yeah, Drew's gonna make sure he's gonna call you before every game. Have you stretched yet?
Yeah.
You hit quadruped?
Yeah. All right, we're getting towards the end here. So playoffs obviously started. There's some very good teams coming out of the NFL. Like who's your Super Bowl pick this year?
Mine's the Packers.
Packers?
I think the Packers are going to go all the way.
Again, who are they playing? Chiefs?
Chiefs or Bills?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Part of me thinks the Bills might sneak in, but I don't know. Part of me also
Chiefs are
thinks
good, man.
part of me also thinks that Andy Reid has kind of been just holding on to like his best plays in the back
He
pocket.
probably is, yeah.
Because sometimes they're just kind of sliding out of games, and they're not winning big time
Yeah.
as opposed to what they did last year. And part of me thinks that's kind of like he's holding on to him, and then they're just going to
Could be.
unleash. What about you?
Mine's the Chiefs. You can't count Patrick Mahomes out. Just like what he did last year, and I come back and win the Super Bowl. And then what he's doing this year, I mean, he's second in passing yards, like top 5 in passing touchdowns. Like he's not falling off. So, and their offense is just ridiculous.
Do you think you could put most quarterbacks into that system and they would succeed, or do you think that's a Patrick Mahomes specific offense?
I think the offense is Patrick Mahomes specific, but I do think Andy Reid can work with quarterbacks.
That's just the match made.
Yeah, but I think with those receivers and that type of speed and Patrick Mahomes' arm it's unbelievable what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're good. And then favorite team growing up, I think I got that Patriots and then Falcons.
Yeah, Falcons.
Well, tell everybody what you said you're gonna do. You might jump on the bandwagon.
Hey, I'm a free agent after this year.
Free agent?
If they trade Julio, I'm gone.
Okay, so what are your top 3 landing spots?
I like Chiefs.
Okay.
I like the Chiefs. Number 2 would be Bills because of Stephon Diggs, and 3 would probably be, I'll go with the Saints. I'll hop on the rivalry side. I like the Saints. Yeah.
Saints are solid. Saints are solid.
Yeah.
You think Taysom Hill's the guy after Drew Brees retires, or no?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't think he's an NFL quarterback.
So what's the next best option there? You go out and shop, or Jameis Winston?
I think Jameis Winston honestly would be a better quarterback for a full game than Taysom Hill because it's really easy to scheme against a guy like that. But I think Jameis Winston, you do draft somebody or trade.
I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's an NFL quarterback because if you look at the year in Tampa Bay, he balled out. He just threw 30 interceptions. You can't do that in NFL. So if he could cut down on turnovers, I feel like he'd be a really good quarterback.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd like to see him play a full season with the new LASIK
eye surgery. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
It's so funny. You can see he's like just.
Yeah.
That looks like Mike Evans down there. You're just gonna talk.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, that guy he can sling it though. I mean, you throw 30 touchdown passes, you cut the interceptions in half. You'll probably be all right. But I mean, that's pretty much all I got today, guys. Really happy you guys were able to sit down with me. And Drew, I thank you for having it. Drew bridged the gap to bring you guys here. I'm sure he'll be on here pretty often. Really excited to watch you guys grow and take it to the next level. So again, congratulations on the commitments, and we look forward to watching you guys here down the road.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate
thanks
it
for having us.
Yeah, thanks, boys.
This is TPow Studios.
Bum, bum, bum.